Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Nipunika Shahid with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister says speed of economic recovery is encouraging. Government reforms are removing all kinds of needless frameworks. Prime Minister to address Global Climate Summit in a short while from now. Government is taking every step to ensure holistic development of farmers, asserts Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. National COVID recovery rate improves to 94.89%. Health Minister says Ayushman Bharat program has revolutionized healthcare system, making quality Medicare affordable and accessible for all. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these three simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now, the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed happiness that the speed of economic recovery is encouraging despite the ups and downs due to COVID-19 pandemic. Delivering the inaugural address today at FICCI's 93rd Annual General Meeting, Mr. Modi said the economic indicators are raising hopes and the country has learnt a lot during the difficult times. He gave the credit to the country's entrepreneurs, youth, farmers and all Indians.
आज जो इकोनॉमी के इंडिकेटर्स हैं, वो उत्साह बढ़ाने वाले हैं, हौसला बढ़ाने वाले हैं। संकट के समय देश ने जो सीखा है, उसने भविष्य के संकल्पों को और दृढ़ किया है और निश्चित तौर पर इसका बहुत बड़ा श्रेय भारत के एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को जाता है, भारत की युवा पीढ़ी को जाता है, भारत के किसानों को जाता है।
The Prime Minister said government reforms are removing all kinds of needless frameworks. He pointed out that the agriculture sector is one such example. Mr. Modi said rural India is undergoing a massive change today and active internet users in rural India today is higher than urban India. He said more than half of India's startups are in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities.
रूरल इंडिया में एक्टिव इंटरनेट यूजर्स की संख्या शहरों से ज्यादा हो चुकी है। क्या आप जानते हैं कि भारत के आधे से ज्यादा स्टार्टअप्स हमारे Tier 2, Tier 3 शहरों में हैं। प्रधानमंत्री ग्रामीण सड़क योजना से देश की लगभग 98% बस्तियां सड़कों से जुड़ चुकी हैं। कहने का मतलब ये कि गांव के लोग अब बाजार, स्कूल, अस्पताल और दूसरी सुविधाओं से तेजी से जुड़ रहे हैं।
Mr. Modi said agriculture reforms offer new markets to farmers as the government is committed to increase farmers' income and make them more prosperous.
आज भारत का एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर पहले से कहीं अधिक वाइब्रेंट हुआ है। आज भारत के किसानों के पास अपनी फसल मंडियों के साथ ही बाहर भी बेचने का विकल्प है। आज भारत में मंडियों का आधुनिकीकरण तो हो ही रहा है। किसानों को डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पर फसल खरीदने बेचने का भी विकल्प दिया है। इन सारे प्रयासों का लक्ष्य यही है कि किसानों की आय बढ़े, देश का किसान समृद्ध हो। जब देश का किसान समृद्ध होगा तो देश भी समृद्ध होगा।
He said farmers of India can today sell their produce at the mandis as well as outside and also sell their produce on digital platforms.
एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर और उससे जुड़े अन्य क्षेत्रों, चाहे वो एग्रीकल्चर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो, फूड प्रोसेसिंग हो, स्टोरेज हो, कोल्ड चेन हो, इनके बीच पहले हमने ही ऐसी दीवारें देखी हैं। अब ये सभी दीवारें हटाई जा रही हैं। इन दीवारों के हटने के बाद, इन रिफॉर्म्स के बाद किसानों को नए बाजार मिलेंगे, नए विकल्प मिलेंगे, उन्हें टेक्नोलॉजी का ज्यादा लाभ मिलेगा, देश का कोल्ड स्टोरेज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर आधुनिक होगा। इन सब से कृषि क्षेत्र में ज्यादा निवेश होगा।
The Prime Minister said the country that saved most of its citizens during a global pandemic is capable of bouncing back in all other sectors. He stated that India preferred saving precious individual lives and the entire country took several unprecedented steps together to fight the pandemic. He said foreign investors have made a record investment in FDI in India during the COVID period.
FDI हो या FPI, विदेशी निवेशकों ने रिकॉर्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट भारत में किया है और निरंतर कर रहे हैं। आज देश का प्रत्येक नागरिक आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान को सफल बनाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है, लोकल के लिए वोकल होकर काम कर रहा है।
The Prime Minister said India's private sector cannot just fulfill domestic needs but should also create a global image for itself. He said Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is a vision to make quality products in India and make Indian industries globally competitive. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now addressing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the Climate Ambition Summit 2020 this evening on the 5th anniversary of the Paris Agreement. The UN, the UK and France are co-hosting the summit in partnership with Chile and Italy. The summit provides a platform for leaders to announce ambitious new commitments under the Paris Agreement. Earlier, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and French President Emmanuel Macron also addressed the summit.
Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has said that the government is taking every step to ensure holistic development of farmers and enrichment of the agriculture sector in the country. He said farmers in the country have started benefiting from the reforms brought by the centre. Mr. Tomar said, extending the benefits of the IT sector to the farmers, the government is utilizing modern tools of communication for dissemination of useful information. On creation of a data bank of farmers in the country, the Agriculture Minister said its resources will be utilized to inform farmers about soil health, send forewarning of floods and even maintenance of land records of agricultural fields. Mr. Tomar said the government aims at making agriculture profitable with assured returns for the farmers. Speaking at the inaugural session of the 10th Knowledge Exchange Summit, the Agriculture Minister said a promising agri-sector in the country will be able to attract people from the new generation towards it. Farmer leaders from Haryana today met Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar in New Delhi. Talking to reporters after the meeting, Mr. Tomar said the farmer leaders submitted a memorandum supporting the 3 farm laws. He said they also shared their experiences on how these laws are benefiting them.
आज हरियाणा के बहुत सारे किसान यूनियन के नेतागण और प्रगतिशील किसान मुझे मिलने के लिए आए। उन्होंने एक ज्ञापन देकर अपने हस्ताक्षर युक्त जो नए कानून आए उनका समर्थन किया और उन्होंने अपने अनुभव बताए कि किस प्रकार से नए कानूनों का फायदा किसानों को मिल रहा है और मिलना प्रारंभ हो गया है और वो इन कानूनों का समर्थन करते हैं।
Karnataka Health and Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has asked the opponents of farm laws enacted by the central government to clarify the reasons for their opposition. Speaking at the 77th General Body meeting of Balkapura Agri and Rural Development Bank, the minister said that the central and state governments are farmer-friendly and he is ready to debate with those opposing the acts. More from a correspondent.
The Karnataka Health and Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has explained the advantages of the new farm acts. He said that the acts will make it possible for the farmers to sell their produce wherever they get good price. He has charged that those with political axe to grind are misleading the farmers. He informed that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is working towards doubling the farmers' income by 2022 and the acts enacted now are action in that direction. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has urged all business leaders and intellectuals associated with FICCI to talk about the benefits of the farm laws. These laws are for the benefit of all farmers across the country. Addressing FICCI's annual convention in New Delhi today, Mr. Goyal said these laws without changing the past systems will open up new opportunities to run trade, commerce and business for the farmers, which will bring more investment in rural India and increase farmers' income.
Government today said that about 40,53,000 paddy farmers have been benefited during the ongoing Kharif marketing season with minimum support price MSP value of more than 70,000 crore rupees. Agriculture Ministry said government continues to procure Kharif crops at its minimum support price from farmers as per its existing MSP schemes. It said the procurement is continuing smoothly in Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Uttarakhand, Tamil Nadu, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Bihar. Out of the total purchase of 372 lakh tons, more than 202 lakh tons have been purchased from Punjab, which is around 54.45% of total procurement in the country. Maharashtra State Election Commissioner UPS Madan has announced that elections to 14,234 Gram Panchayats will be held on the 15th of next month. The polls will be held in 34 districts barring Mumbai City and Mumbai suburban districts. The counting of votes will be held on the 18th of January.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray today said that the memorial of late Shiv Sena Supremo Bal Thackeray, proposed to be set up in Aurangabad, would promote the feeling of nationalism in the future generations. He was speaking in the city at the groundbreaking ceremony of a water pipeline project worth 1,680 crore rupees. The Chief Minister also virtually performed the groundbreaking ceremony of 3 other projects in Aurangabad. On the plan to change the name of Aurangabad Airport, Thackeray said that the proposal to name the airport after Chhatrapati Sambhaji has been approved by the state government and it has been forwarded to the centre. In Assam, counting of votes for Bodoland Territorial Council BTC polls is on amidst tight security. The Bodoland People's Front has won 5 seats, while UPPL managed to get 1 seat so far. As per the latest information, UPPL is leading in 11 seats and BPF is leading in 10 seats. BJP is leading in 9 seats. Congress and AIUDF alliance is leading only in 1 seat. Among those who won for BPF include former NDFB rebel B. Sairai Gaura and Paniram Brahma. There are a total of 40 seats in Bodoland Territorial Council. The counting of ballot paper is likely to continue till late night. Since the formation of BTC in 2003, BPF was able to form the council.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister says speed of economic recovery is encouraging. Government reforms are removing all kinds of needless frameworks. Prime Minister to address Global Climate Summit in a short while from now. Government is taking every step to ensure holistic development of farmers, asserts Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. National COVID recovery rate improves to 94.89%. Health Minister says Ayushman Bharat program has revolutionized healthcare system, making quality Medicare affordable and accessible for all. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back. The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached around 94.89%. During the last 24 hours, 33,494 COVID patients have recovered. The Health Ministry said total number of recoveries has gone up to over 93,24,000. The actual caseload currently comprises only 3.66% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 3,59,819. In the last 24 hours, over 30,000 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 98,26,000. The ministry said that effective implementation of the strategic and graded test, track and treat approach has led to higher recoveries and lower fatality. Currently, India's case fatality rate is 1.45%, which is one of the lowest globally. During the last 24 hours, 442 deaths were reported, taking the COVID-related death toll to 1,42,628. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, more than 10,65,000 tests were conducted during the last 24 hours. The total number of samples tested so far has reached over 15 crore 26 lakh. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said that Ayushman Bharat program has completely revolutionized primary, secondary and tertiary healthcare system in the country with a strong focus on preventive healthcare. Chairing an event to mark the Universal Health Coverage Day, he said, through the two wings of Ayushman Bharat, the Health and Wellness Centres and the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, the government has been making quality healthcare affordable and accessible for crores of people in the country. He said that over 1 crore 45 lakh cashless treatments have been provided. To the poorest citizens under Ayushman Bharat, the minister also released the 5th National Family Health Survey, NFHS, which contains detailed information on population, health and nutrition for India and its states and union territories.
The recovery rate of COVID patients in Delhi stands at 95.48%. The city recorded recovery of 3,191 patients in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of recovered patients till date to 5,78,116. A total of 1,935 new confirmed cases of coronavirus were reported in the national capital during the last 24 hours. With this, the total number of COVID cases reported in the capital so far has reached to 6,05,470. The Delhi government confirmed that 47 deaths have been reported in the last 24 hours, taking the total to 9,981. The total number of active corona cases in the city now stands at 17,373.
In Maharashtra, 4,259 new COVID-19 cases were reported today. With this, the tally of corona cases reached to 18,76,699. According to the State Health Department, 80 deaths reported in the state today, taking the tally of deceased to 48,139. Case fatality rate in the state is 2.57%. On the other hand, the Health Department data revealed that 3,949 patients were discharged today, taking the tally of such patients to 17,53,922. The current recovery rate in the state is 93.46%. As on today, there are 73,542 active cases in the state. Out of 1,16,038,336 laboratory samples, 18,76,699 have been tested positive for COVID-19 until today. Currently, 5,25,623 people are in home quarantine and 4,500 people are in institutional quarantine.
Kerala continues to report surge in COVID cases as it confirmed 5,949 positive cases today. 5,268 COVID patients recovered in the state today. Meanwhile, 32 deaths were confirmed today, taking the death toll in the state to 2,594. The active COVID cases in Kerala rose to 60,029.
Nagaland's COVID-19 tally reached to 11,676 with detection of 42 fresh positive cases of COVID-19 today. Health and Family Welfare Minister S. Pangyu Phom in a tweet said that 19 cases were reported from Dimapur, 10 in Kohima, 7 in Kifre, 4 from Mokochung and 2 in Peren. Also, 64 patients have recovered, which included 31 in Tuensang, 22 from Dimapur and 11 in Kohima. Presently, a total of 10,876 persons have recovered from the infection, while 607 are active cases. The spread of COVID-19 pandemic in Karnataka remains under control with a positivity rate of 1.17% and case fatality rate of 0.91%. The state reported 1,203 new COVID cases and 1,531 recoveries today. The recovery rate is 96.6%. There are 18,254 active COVID cases in the state, with 244 among them in ICU. There were 11 deaths reported due to the viral infection today. There are 78 private labs and 42 government labs conducting COVID tests.
The News Services Division brings glimpses of the year that was. In our special series Year-Ender 2020, COVID-19 pandemic has been the biggest story of the year, and India has seen the fight back against the COVID-19 pandemic under the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A report from our correspondent about the role of traditional systems of medicine in tackling the COVID-19 pandemic.
When COVID-19 pandemic engulfed the world, governments of all the countries and medical experts started efforts to search the effective solutions to tackle with this deadly disease. In India also, efforts have been made to deal with the coronavirus with the help of traditional medicine systems like Ayurveda and yoga, along with modern medical practices. These traditional medicines played a remarkable role in boosting the immunity of people in the absence of any effective vaccine during the COVID-19 pandemic. Talking to AIR News, COVID survivor Sumit Kumar Jha of Delhi said that traditional methods like boiled water, kadha and haldi milk provided great relief to him during the fight against corona disease.
After being COVID positive, I started drinking warm water, boiled with herbs like ginger, haldi and basil. Besides, I also taken boiled milk with haldi and kadha made with the several herbs. These methods provided great relief to me and boosted my immunity level. Today, I am fully recovered.
Government is taking several steps toward the integration of traditional medicine solutions with modern medical practices and scientific validation of tested traditional medicine products and practices. These steps have made Ayurveda and yoga an important part of the health policy of our country. Government is also working to set up 150,000 health and wellness centers across the country, and out of these 12,500 Ayush wellness centers will completely be dedicated to Ayurveda. Bhupendra Singh, AIR News, Delhi.
Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan and Joint Secretary Love Agarwal today called on the Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu at Uparashtrapati Niwas. They apprised Mr. Naidu of the latest health situation in Eluru, Andhra Pradesh, in the backdrop of many people being hospitalized with an undiagnosed illness. The people there reportedly suffered from dizziness, fainting spells, headache and vomiting. The Health Secretary briefed Mr. Naidu on the preliminary findings of the Central Committee that visited the affected areas. The Secretary said that a detailed report will be prepared on the Central Team's return to Delhi and necessary advisory will be issued accordingly. The Vice President was told that the number of new cases in Eluru has come down sharply, with only 2 new cases reported yesterday. Mr. Naidu asked the Health Secretary to keep a watch on the situation and take all necessary measures.
Benchmark domestic stocks logged gains of around 2% during the business week ended yesterday. The BSE Sensex 30 and NSE Nifty 50 both hit lifetime highs during the week. The Sensex closed above 46,000 mark, while the Nifty settled above 13,500 level. Amid decline in new coronavirus cases in the country and mixed cues from global markets, the Sensex gained 1,019 points or 2.26% to finish at 46,099, and the Nifty surged 255 points or 1.93% to conclude at 13,514. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital will have very dense fog with temperatures varying between 12 and 23 degrees Celsius. In News Just In, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now addressing Climate Ambition Summit 2020.
Our sights even higher. We must also not lose sight of the past. We must not only revise our ambitions, but also review our achievements against targets already set. Only then can our voices be credible for future generations. Excellencies, I must humbly share with you that India is not only on track to achieve its Paris Agreement targets, but to exceed them beyond expectations. We have reduced our emission intensity by 21% over 2005 levels. Our solar capacity has grown from 2.63 gigawatts in 2014 to 36 gigawatts in 2020. Our renewable energy capacity is the fourth largest in the world. It will reach 175 gigawatts before 2022, and we have an even more ambitious target now, 450 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. We have also succeeded in expanding our forest cover and safeguarding our biodiversity. And on the world stage, India has pioneered two major initiatives: the International Solar Alliance and the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Excellencies, in 2047, India will celebrate 100 years as a modern, independent nation. To all my fellow residents of this planet, I make a solemn pledge today. Centennial India will not only meet its own targets, but will also exceed your expectations. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was our Prime Minister addressing the Global Summit 2020. Continuing with the weather news, Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky and the temperature will vary between 23 and 31 degrees Celsius. Chennai is likely to have mainly clear sky and temperature will hover between 22 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is likely to have fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later, and temperature will vary between 16 and 26 degrees Celsius. On to the north, Jammu will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night, and temperature will hover between 12 degrees Celsius and 24 degrees. Srinagar is likely to have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. In Leh, there will be partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night, and temperature will vary between -7 degrees Celsius and 5 degrees. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with light rain, with temperature varying between 2 degrees Celsius to 12 degrees. Muzaffarabad will witness mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night, and the temperature will vary between 4 to 20 degrees Celsius. Dehradun will witness mainly clear sky and temperature will hover between 8 and 23 degrees Celsius. Chandigarh will have a partly cloudy sky. The temperature in the city will hover between 14 and 21 degrees Celsius. Uttarakhand is in the grip of cold wave after the fresh spell of snowfall and rain today. Almost all the districts received light rainfall, whereas mountain peaks in the higher Himalayan altitudes in Garhwal and Kumaon regions were covered with snow. Snowfall occurred in Chardham, Hemkund Sahib, Auli, Rupkund, Rudranath, Harshil, Suki Top, Dhanolti and other regions. According to the Meteorological Department, dense to very dense fog is likely to occur in some parts of the plain areas in the state from tomorrow. Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO has scheduled the launch of communication satellite CMS-01 on board PSLV C-50 on December 17, 2020 at 15:41 hours from Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota. This will be Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle's 52nd mission. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister says speed of economic recovery is encouraging government reforms are removing all kinds of needless frameworks. Prime Minister addressed Global Climate Summit. Government is taking every step to ensure holistic development of farmers, asserts Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar. National COVID recovery rate improves to 94.89%. Health Minister says Ayushman Bharat program has revolutionized healthcare system, making quality Medicare affordable and accessible for all. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.